morning all. It is Thursday, the 30th of July 2023. It's breezy again. It's a bit overcast. And there's a nice breeze. It's not warm by any stretch of imagination, but there is a nice breeze. So I had my phone call from the diabetes nurse yesterday, and she's happy with everything. And she's upping my Mounjaro. I used to be on 5. The last couple of weeks I've been on 7.5. I'm dealing all right with that. She's upping me to 10. So as I say, yes, it will help with my weight, but it's predominantly because I've only got the one kidney. They're wanting to drop my insulin. I have dropped it to 24. And it's been sort of like 9, 10, 11, which ideally it should be 7, 8, 9, but 10s and 11s are still fine. So yeah. So as it stands at the minute, I'm doing all right with that. What else to tell you? I'll get to that. I'll get to what I was going to tell you shortly. But first of all, we'll have Today in History. So, 11 years ago, me and Vicky went out and we went to the Lord Nelson, which is sort of like on the big hill on your way to Penistone. Very nice it was too. I think we've been once since. It was my first trip there, and like I said, I've only been once since. 6 years ago, I were on a night shift, and I was bored. And I took a photo of Mavis with my flash on, and it come out lovely. It was sad to see Mavis go, to be honest with you, but she served me well. But she went so I could get Lola. Yeah, I bought Mavis off my brother-in-law, who is buying Lola off me. So yeah. What else? 6 years ago. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, getting ready to do a show on Barrel House Radio. In fact, no. 6 years ago, getting ready to do a show on Red Road FM, which was a Sheffield and Rotherham based station. I did it from home. I pre-recorded it, and they broadcast it on a Sunday night. It ended up I was doing one on a Thursday and one on a Sunday, 2-hour-long shows. I enjoyed them, but there's always something a bit icky about doing pre-recorded radio shows. I've always preferred to do them live. I don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing pre-records, but there's something a bit more spontaneous about doing live shows. Ever since I started on Scooter Phones Radio, I've always done live, and I've always preferred live, because if you've got people listening, when you've got people listening and you've got a way of chatting to them, then you can be spontaneous and you can talk back to your audience. Somebody asks for a specific song, you can play it, you know. Whereas if you're doing a pre-record, you tend to set up a playlist, and basically you're sitting and you're pressing buttons. I'm not one for talking a great deal on the radio. Well, in the past few years, I've been less inclined to talk. There were times where I would go off on a rant about this and other. But I've since learned that it's not about you people. I listen to radio to listen to the music, and I get myself frustrated at hearing people waffling on. So I like to just play the music and keep the waffle to a minimum. That's why the request shows I were doing before all this silliness, and I'm hoping I will get back to once I get my new kit. There were 4 hours. I start at 8 o'clock on a Friday and go on till 12. And I program about half an hour so that it got me time to get some requests in. Now, I would not. I'd only take requests from 8 o'clock. Occasionally, if we were doing a theme show, I know there were a few people that didn't always get a chance to listen on a Friday, so they would email me a few requests. If that happened, that'd be my half hour to start. But yeah, I would. There were many a time that we'd start at 8 and by 9 o'clock we'd got the full 4 hours filled with listener requests. So yeah, I miss it. I do miss it. I miss that more than I miss riding Lola. It'll happen. It will happen again. Once I get everything in place to be able to do it, and I get all the machinery that means I can go live on there again, I will be. Watch this space. Whether it'll be Friday night, I'm aiming for it, because Friday nights are brilliant. It was beginning of the weekend, people could let their hair down and have a drink and whatnot, and we had some really good times. If you go to sfr.mixler.com and just search for Friday Night Live or anything with Barnsley Simon on it. I mean, obviously, I've listened to Craig's shows, listened to Bammy's shows. You know, there's lots and lots to listen to from years gone by. But anyway, I'm waffling again, aren't I? So 6 years ago, I was getting ready to do a Barrel House radio show. 5 years ago, we're settling in. Again, 6 years ago, I was settling in to do a Red Road show. 5 years ago, settling in to do a Barrel House radio show. And that's pretty much it. There's not a great deal happened on 30th of July over years gone by. I'm a poet and I don't know it. So yeah, that's today in history. So last night was a treat. There's a brand new season of Ted Lasso starting next week. Apparently he's back and he's taking on the women's team. And Vicky has not watched Ted Lasso. And I thought, you know what, we're gonna. So last night I said, just watch a couple, love. Don't have to watch them all, but watch a couple, see if you like it. If you like it, fine. If you don't, I'll watch them all from start again. Because I want to catch up with everything. Because it's been a while. So we sat and watched pilot. And then we watched the second one. And she's like, I'll go on one more. We ended up watching 7. And it was round about 12:15. Excuse me. Round about 12:15 when we went to bed. I could have watched another couple. I mean, we've got 3 left to end season 1. And I think she could have done. But, you know, as I said to her, I ain't got out to get up for Vicky, you have. so we went to bed. So hopefully tonight we'll be bombing a few more down his necks, so to speak. And yeah, and that's basically it for today. I think we are going to do a short one today. I will end by saying, Rob and mate, I hope you get well, because they're both under the weather. Hope you feel better soon, both of you. And yeah, basically it. I know Vicky's having afternoon off to take her mum to the dentist, so I'm not sure what time she'll be home. And so I've already got up and tidied about, because I'm a good boy, I am. Or best I can anyway. It's hard to do things when you've no balance. You need to hold on to something. But yeah, so we'll leave it at that for today, I think. I can't think of anything else. I've waffled on about radio too much, or not enough. So I will have to wrap my brain and try and think of every radio station I've been on, and I can tell you about them all. And once I get the new kit in place, I'll show you that everything works. I've still got to show you Spike. He's sitting up there in his village and his grasshoppers that we got him. Yeah, basically it. I think I'm gonna chill. Oh, there's a new radio station, isn't there? 6 Independent or whatever it's called. 6 Indie. I don't know. I'm gonna give that a bash today. I want to see what that's like. I used to love 6 Music. Yeah, Jupiter's used to be breakfast show, and then Gideon Co. Oh, good times they were. Oh, I won a Cinerama CD, signed Cinerama CD, listening to Gideon Co. David Gedge at Wedding Present, second band. Yeah, I'm going. I'll see you tomorrow. TTFM.